There are 17 running backs in NFL history who have rushed for more yards than Fred Taylor. Every single Hall of Fame eligible player ahead of him on that list is already in Canton. 11,695 career rushing yards, a 4.6 yards per carry average, higher than Emmitt Smith, higher than Walter Payton, higher than LaDainian Tomlinson. Only Barry Sanders and Jim Brown posted better numbers among backs with 10,000 yards. He was a top 5 back for a decade. He has the yards. He has the efficiency. But for nearly 10 years, he couldn't even get in the room. He was a semifinalist 7 straight times before the voters finally let him become a finalist in 2024. How did 11,000 yards become invisible? The answer isn't a bad season or a lack of talent. It's a nickname, a coach's game plan, in a city that the national media refused to find on a map. They didn't just forget Fred Taylor. They rewrote his history to fit a narrative that was never true. Today, we set the record straight. This is the Gameday Giants. Fred Taylor grew up in Pahokee, Florida. He was a linebacker, played defense until his junior year of high school, then switched to the backfield, and immediately looked like the best player in the state. By his senior season, 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns. He'd later be named one of the 100 greatest players in the first 100 years of Florida high school football. He chose to attend the University of Florida, Steve Spurrier's fun and gun offense. The system was built to throw. Quarterbacks won Heismans in Gainesville. Running backs, they were an afterthought. They got the leftovers. Fred Taylor ate anyway. November 1997, Florida State, #1 ranked defense in the country. Taylor put up 4 touchdowns in a 32-29 upset. Spurrier later said if he'd featured Taylor earlier, they might have repeated as national champions. He was part of the '96 title team, left Gainesville with 3,075 rushing yards and 31 touchdowns. The Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to get him with the 9th overall pick in the 1998 NFL Draft, giving up quarterback Rob Johnson to the Bills for the selection. They didn't just want Fred Taylor, they traded a starting quarterback to get him. Turned out to be the best trade Jacksonville ever made. Rookie year, 1998. Fred Taylor started 12 games and ran for 1,223 yards with 14 touchdowns. 14 rushing touchdowns as a rookie. That tied the franchise record for a franchise that had only existed for 4 years. The 1999 Jacksonville Jaguars went 14-2, a 5-year-old franchise with the best record in the NFL. Mark Burnell was slinging it, Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardle running routes, and Tony Baselli, a future Hall of Famer, clearing lanes on the left side. This team was for real, and Fred Taylor was the engine. He missed 6 games that year with a hamstring injury. Didn't matter. The Jags were so loaded they cruised without him in the regular season. But when January came, when it was time to show up on the biggest stage, Taylor was ready. AFC divisional round, Jacksonville vs. Miami, Dan Marino's Dolphins, the old guard versus the new blood. Early in the game, Taylor takes the handoff, hits the edge, and he's gone, 90 yards. That run is still the longest rushing touchdown in NFL playoff history. Nobody has broken it in over 25 years. That game ended 62-7. It was Dan Marino's last game as a professional. Jacksonville's season ended the next week in the AFC Championship, a tough loss to the Titans, but nobody was worried. Taylor was 23 years old. The Jaguars were built to last. This felt like the beginning of something. It wasn't. From 1999 to 2001, Fred Taylor missed 23 out of 48 possible games. Hamstring injuries, a knee issue, and in 2001, his groin muscle literally tore away from the bone in week 3. His season was over, and the media had their narrative. They called him Fragile Fred. Not just casually, they branded him with it. Fantasy football analysts used to use it as a punchline. Pro Football Reference, the official statistical record of the sport, still lists Fragile Fred as his nickname on their website. But nobody ever asked where that nickname actually came from. In 2001, after Taylor's groin tore off the bone, an injury that everyone knew was season-ending, his head coach, Tom Coughlin, listed him as questionable on the injury report. Every week, for the rest of the season, 14 straight weeks of listing a player with a catastrophic injury as questionable. Why? Because Coughlin didn't want opposing teams to know Taylor was done. He was gaming the injury report, and the side effect? Every fan, every analyst, every voter who would someday evaluate Taylor's career looked at those injury reports and saw a guy who was choosing not to play. The perception wasn't that Fred Taylor had a devastating injury. The perception was that Fred Taylor was soft. Taylor later admitted that the nickname sent him into depression. He sought a sports psychologist just to keep playing. And while Taylor was dealing with all that, his agent, a man named William Tank Black, was busy laundering nearly all of Taylor's $5 million signing bonus. Gone. Stolen by the one guy who was supposed to protect his money. Most players would have quit. Most players did quit when the NFL hit them this hard, this early. Fred Taylor didn't quit. From 2002 to 2007, Taylor posted 7 seasons of over 1,100 rushing yards. Quiet, consistent, lethal. His career yards per carry average was 4.6. For context, the only backs with 10,000 yards who average more than that are Barry Sanders and Jim Brown. That's the company Fred Taylor keeps statistically, but the Fragile Fred label, it never went away. 3 bad years at the start of his career overwrote 10 good ones. Nobody updated the story. Nobody corrected it. And in 2007, Taylor gave them every reason to. At age 31, he ripped off 5 consecutive 100-yard games, including touchdown runs of 50, 62, and 80 yards. He led the Jags from 7-3 to an 11-5 playoff berth, and then he went into Pittsburgh twice and won twice in the same season. The Jags became the first team in NFL history to win 2 games in Pittsburgh in a single season. In the wildcard game, Taylor punched in the game-winning 12-yard touchdown. That year, at 31 years old, Taylor was named a second-team All-Pro. He rushed for 5.4 yards per carry on 223 attempts. Now ask yourself this. Fred Taylor made 1 Pro Bowl his entire career. 1. Not because he wasn't good enough, because he played in Jacksonville. Fred Taylor became eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2017. In 9 years of eligibility, he's been named a semifinalist 7 times, a finalist twice, for the class of 2024 and 2025, and both times, he was passed over. For the class of 2026, he didn't even make the finalist cut. So what's keeping him out? The nickname, Fragile Fred, born from a coach gaming the injury report, and it still follows him 25 years later. The market, Jacksonville, smallest city in professional football. 1 player in the Hall of Fame, total, Tony Baselli, inducted in 2022 after waiting 16 years. And the visibility problem. The 90-yard playoff run happened in a 62-7 blowout nobody remembers. The 5 straight 100-yard games in 2007, if that happens in Dallas or New York, it's the lead story on SportsCenter for a month. In Jacksonville, silence. Fred Taylor didn't lack greatness. He lacked a microphone, and the NFL never gave him one. I keep coming back to one thing. Every running back ahead of Fred Taylor on that all-time rushing list has a gold jacket. His yards per carry number is better than almost every back in Canton. He survived a manufactured nickname, a stolen signing bonus, and the invisibility of a franchise that the league forgot existed. And he still finished top 20 all time. Tell me what else he was supposed to do. Drop it in the comments. Should Fred Taylor be in the Hall of Fame, or is the Hall of Fame right to keep him waiting? And if you think the NFL has a habit of erasing its best players, subscribe. This is what this channel is here for. See you in the next one.